Welcome to our Threads of Success podcast, where we're engaging with slow fashion entrepreneurs like yourself, and we're trying to understand your journey and what are the some of the digital transformation efforts you have taken or you're going to take
Mm.
to drive growth and efficiency. So today we have Devika with us, who is the founder also of this studio called Itiha, if
Yes.
I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
which is a natural dyeing studio based out of
Yeah.
Pune, and they're on a mission to make naturally hand-dyed clothing the new norm. So, hi, Devika. I'd like to hear from you what about your life a little bit, how you kind of started this, and what is the genesis of your idea. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for having me, first of all. So I started almost 2 years ago with Studio Itiha, and I'm a textile designer. So the entire story behind me doing what I am doing right now started back when I was in my second year or third year mostly. So we had a lot of subjects in college where they used to teach us, traditional textiles across the country. So what different methods they're following, all of that. And then I realized that a lot of the traditional textiles initially used to still use natural dyes because chemical dyes came after the industrial revolution, right? Before that, before the British came in, we had natural dyes only. That's what everybody used.
Mhm.
And so then while studying those, and then in my third year I also had a subject, like it was an optional subject, but we had a floating subject of natural dyes. So that's where I first tried my hands at it. But then, like, it was just a subject, I just did it, and then it was gone. But then I realized about a lot of consumerism, all of these terms that started coming into my dictionary, understanding what fast fashion is, how fast fashion brands work, and why they're not very nice, why all the things that are going wrong with fast fashion brands and everything. So after my call, and I'm the COVID batch, so I graduated in 21. So I've spent 1.5 years of my college life sitting at home. So it gave
Mhm.
me a lot of time to think also, uh, मतलब करना है तो कुछ impactful करना है. I
Mhm.
don't just want to be another person doing a 9 to 5 job, and I don't think I'm made for a 9 to 5 also.
Definitely.
um, so I was initially brainstorming ki what to do, and the idea was that I start working with different artisans, different textiles, like ajrak or block print or whatever it may be, different weaving styles or whatever. So then I traveled a little bit, and then I traveled to Gujarat, I traveled to Himachal, Ladakh,
Mm.
understood the textiles of the traditional textiles from there. And then I realized that even these weavers, they are also refraining from using natural dyes now because usko time, like it takes a lot of time, and it's more energy consuming and all of that. So then I was like, "Ki theek hai, let's, I think there is a possibility of doing something here." Then I came back, and then it was mostly a lot of self learning because even in college, when we did touch upon natural dyes, it wasn't as much in the depths. Like, we just got like turmeric and pomegranate, like the very basics of natural dyes, what was taught to us. But then after studying all of this, there were like a few master artisans back in Ajrakpur and the Sijus and everybody. So they are like, no, we this is our culture, this is our tradition, and this doesn't happen anywhere else, and we want to preserve it. So then I got to learn natural dyeing from them also, and then I came back, and then I explored
Where
on.
where did you learn? Sorry, which artisans is that?
So this is in Kutch, Gujarat,
Okay, okay,
and then a few of them in Ladakh, where Pashmina and everything. So even
okay.
they follow, yeah, even they still do natural dyes, and they are still they still like also to work with it because
Mhm.
whatever's available there, they want to work with that.
And how did you find like you just kind of explore your going for it to
Yeah.
travel,
So
explore?
now I visit Kutch quite often, but initially, yeah, that was because Rajasthan and Gujarat are like the most craft diverse states that are there in India, right? Like
Yeah.
Gujarat, Kutch in itself has more than 20 types of embroideries, just embroideries. So then
Hmm.
I thought maybe, traveling to Gujarat would be a good eye opener, would be a good like good learning for me also to understand, how the textile industry works, how traditional artisans work. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that was my first time in Kutch. So yeah, so then I came back and then experimented on my own, started forming my own recipes, experimenting with different fibers, how different fibers are reacting to different natural dyes, and seeing what's working for me. And then I actually don't have a business background also, so I had to study, like right from studying how to register a company
Yeah.
to getting the logo design, getting the branding done. So all of that was also a process. So even that took a little bit time. That took me like 8 months to put the business model in place and everything. And then yeah, and then I started. And so the whole idea is that I don't even now, like, we don't want Studio Itiha's products, or it to be very high end. We want it to be very affordable and
Mm-hmm.
accessible to everybody. Like, it shouldn't be something that that people are just, it's out of your reach, because then it becomes inaccessible, right? And we want more people to use natural dyes. So that is
Hmm.
what we aim for. And then the fiber choices also that we make, the garments that we make, are all planned accordingly.
Okay. And
Yeah.
like you do mainly natural dyeing. You source the
Mhm.
textile and do natural dyeing there and make products, right?
Yeah.
That's usually and
So
100% natural dyes. You several kind of options that you provide.
yeah, and so we try to like almost 85 to 90% of the fabrics that we source are directly from weavers, like from all across the country. We experiment with different textile,
Hmm.
like different weaves also.
Okay.
So that is one way now that also correlates with the initial idea that I had, that I wanted to incorporate, traditional artisanal weaves in some way or another.
Yeah.
So actually now also I'm working on a project where we're dyeing yarn and then we're going to give it off to weaving to some artisans. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Nice. And you started this 2022, like started in the sense of you started selling, uh, like you started like selling to customers in 2022, or it took some time?
It took some time. It took some time. I started my Instagram first thing.
Okay.
And then after that I started taking workshops. So I also teach. Even now I conduct a lot of workshops. Because a lot of people are just not aware there are natural dyes. Like, we
Hmm.
don't my whole point is that I don't want to stay within the community of people who know what natural dyes are. I want to break free from that and reach more people, people who
Yeah.
don't know what it is, because then it is
Yeah.
making a difference, right?
Hmm.
Then it's making some point. So that's why I take a lot of workshops, even corporate workshops, where people understand. They're like, oh, we didn't know marigold petals could give such a bright print, and then they're just surprised
Hmm.
by the whole idea of it. So yeah, so initially I started taking workshops, and then slowly, uh, I started, selling products directly to customers through
So
pop-up.
you did lot of workshops, corporate workshops. So that did that help to kind of acquire new customers, initial customers, where
Yeah,
they kind of
yeah, definitely. Because so a lot, even if not, yeah, even customers, but even if not customers, there's a lot of curiosity among people when it comes to this. So one time they attend the workshop, and then constantly they want to know, oh, what are you up to next? What are you doing? And then
okay.
automatically it becomes like you're building a community, and they become a part of your community.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great, great. And so like you started with Instagram and corporate workshop. How long did it kind of last till you found a kind of more uh, probably started selling through a website? That makes sense. So what is your kind of strategy at the moment? How it is selling
So
mostly?
right now, the primary source of selling direct to the customers is through pop-ups, so through offline
Yeah.
methods.
Okay.
So that's what I'd mostly do, and I'm trying a little bit now to shift to online marketing, online sales, and through content creation also.
Okay. So pop-ups, where are you doing? Like how many pop-ups in a
Um, I do around 4 to 5 pop-ups in, let's say, 6 months or so right
one
now.
pop-up in a month, kind of? And where are these pop-ups? And how do you
Uh,
find these places?
so in Pune, Mumbai, Bangalore also. Yeah, these three right now are. That's what I'm doing. I want to explore more cities also.
Hmm.
Initially, I used to look up, like, even before I started Itiha, I used to follow a lot of, slow fashion brands, and because that's where my, or like hand woven textiles brands that are there, so all this kind of things. And a lot of brands actually participate in a lot of pop-ups that are happening across the country. So then
Hmm.
I started following these pop-ups also through the brands. And then once you participate in one or two pop-ups, then I think, I don't know, but I just think you get on the radar of the pop-up community or whatever. So after a point, they only start sending you emails saying that, oh, hey, we have this pop-up here, would you be interested? And then
Hmm.
even smaller, like nowadays pop-ups are even happening in cafes and everything, so even they start like, "Oh, we'd like to conduct a workshop, or we have this idea, would you be interested?" So that's how I think
And
that.
do you think like the pop-ups helps you to monetize more because are you able to kind of recuperate your expenses or it gives you more branding? Why do you do
I
it
think
like mostly?
it's both, and it also depends very much on the organizer. So
Mm-hmm.
the kinds of pop-ups that you choose also really matter, is what I've learned over the, I don't know, one year I think I've been doing pop-ups. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, because there's a lot of offline events happening now suddenly, and every organization or every event, man, whatever, they have like a particular audience that they cater to. So there are certain organizers that really tap into the market that you want to go to, in both the aspects, in terms of sale also, and in terms of acquiring, or marketing also. So then some have been really, really good, both in both aspects. Some of them have been okay, but I guess it's just a learning, this thing.
Mm. Got it. Nice. And at the moment, you're doing mostly pop-ups, but if you're doing marketing as like content marketing, something you're doing, is it through Instagram? That's what the primary marketing channel that you're using.
Yeah. So right now, yeah, that's the primary marketing, and I'm now trying to, more than market the products, I'm trying to build a community, because I feel like people connect more with the whole idea of natural dyes and the process and everything. Like, everybody's fascinated by it, and so I want to build that community. And I think, like, the same.
Are you making the community? Are you building the communities? Like, are you getting them together to talk about it? What are you doing? Like,
Yeah, so
how
it's
do you
like,
know this? Like,
even like I said, right, even the people that come to the workshop and everything, so it's like a mixture of everything, honestly, because when you meet people even at the pop-ups and everything, it's obviously better, that, there are more chances that they will follow you, or they will keep in touch with you, or whatever it is, because they've met you in person, they've felt the fabrics in person. So there's a
hmm.
tangible memory that they have about about the products, about your brand, about you, they've seen your face. So that is one thing. And then I'm just like, the online community thing, I think I'm just trying to create content, that resonates with people and why it matters. So I'm just trying to convey that through the content.
No, I mean like the community should be like in a way like you can get a lot of followers through that or people will follow you as a brand, but
Mm,
community is a place where a lot of people come together and they kind of interact with themselves. They don't
mm,
need the brand to be there per se, but brand can be as an inspiration or aspiration for them to kind of connect more
mm,
among themselves. So that's
mm.
something, yeah, that's something is difficult to build for sure.
Yeah.
And and you are majorly you are not doing lot of like Instagram majorly organically, that's you're creating content
Yeah.
around it, right? A lot
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's mostly just organic. Yeah.
Okay. And who are these customers that you have identified who relates more with what you're doing in the sense of
Mhm.
natural dye and everything? Who are these customers, do you feel?
So right now I feel the ideal customer type for me would be, like probably mid 30s who are working in, like, this is a lot of my customers, so that's why this is the first thing that's coming to my mind. Working in an IT company or whatever, and are,
Hmm.
a little bit conscious about their lifestyles, about what they eat, about what, they're conscious about everything that they do, and trying to be better, or that aspiration is there.
Hmm.
So right now I think this is the ideal customer type. Or then there's another who are entirely unaware of natural dyes. Uh, but when they realize that, oh, natural dyes are, they're just so fascinated by it. They're like, oh, we're just gonna use this now, and it feels so good. And it, like, people have come up and told, after buying, they've come up and told me that they act like wearing naturally dyed clothing actually does make you feel different, or it's much more comfortable even in summers or whatever. So yeah, I think these two are the biggest now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And tell me a little bit about your product sourcing and manufacturing, because majorly you're saying you're directly trying to work with artisans,
Yeah.
and I think natural dye also. Are you sourcing the natural dye materials from the artisans itself, or you are
No.
getting the natural raw form from the market? How are you doing that?
Yeah, getting raw, and trying to be as local as possible also. So most of the natural dyes that I use are sourced in Pune only.
Okay.
The flowers and leaves, that are the flowers mostly, like marigolds, especially for yellows and everything. So flowers we collect from weddings, wedding decorations or temples, and then we dry it up and store them in our studio. So that's how we get the flowers. And yeah, fabric we source from weavers. So again, depends on what kind of fabric we're looking at. So we mostly work with organic hand woven cotton, Kala cotton from Kutch again.
Okay.
So yeah, so while I was in Kutch, I made a few friends there with the weavers and everything. So now
Hmm.
I don't have to go there every time. So I can just, over a call, they just send over the fabric to me.
Okay. And how do you find this Kala cotton, for example, is very renowned for like rain harvested organic cotton,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How's the texture of it? Do you like that? Because it has a very thick and raw texture, right?
Not really. It depends on
Yeah.
the type of weave that you are using. So,
Mhm.
like the one by one weave, which is the plain one by one weave, is not. It's actually like any other regular. It's not like mull soft or whatever, but it gives like a linen-ish feeling. Like, a lot of people also confuse Kala cotton for linen for some reason. But I actually really like the texture. And the thing with Kala cotton is that the more you wash it, the softer it gets.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, so I actually really like the texture, and it's not even bleached, so it has that raw kora color, whatever that we call, and it's got the little bit of dust
Mhm.
spectacle, all of that.
But you are
But
able to dye on the top of it easily. There's no
yeah,
problem.
actually, Kala cotton is actually one of the best cottons to naturally dye with. Like, I've explored with a lot of other
Hmm.
cotton varieties also. Kala cotton absorbs natural dyes really, really well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice. And uh, b- don't you find the natural dye that you're using raw material, it does it like stay fast because you need a lot of material after to keep that natural dye fastness high, right?
Yeah.
For
So
finishing.
yeah. So again, initially, when I was experimenting before starting Studio Itiha, that
Mhm.
this was the problem that I was facing, because I so what my learning sources were, again, from the internet or workshops, or what online workshops or whatever, and then the colors were fading very quickly. But then when I went to Kutch and when I went to Himachal and everything, so the traditional ways of dyeing are entirely different. There are 2 3 more steps that are added to it. So,
Hmm.
like the scouring, the mordanting and everything, the tannins and everything. So I think that's like, after following that process, the colors are really fast. Like obviously every natural dye has its own, different color fastness properties, but then they are still very, like, they'll give you like a 3 to 4 range of color fastness, which is good.
But how are you getting the modern things? So like, is that they are all natural materials, right?
Yeah,
Because
they're all
yeah.
natural. So
Mm.
what I majorly use is I use Itiha for scouring. So there's no, we're not using any detergents also, and
Yeah.
Itiha works wonders. And then we use alum again. Alum is available very easily everywhere. And
Okay.
we use either pomegranate peels or harda for myrobalan powder for tannins, for cellulose, like for cottons and linens and hemp and whatever. So cellulosic fibers.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pomegranate peels and what did you say?
harda. So it
Hard.
myrobalan.
Okay. Sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So in the right proportions and given the right time, this combination with any natural dye makes a really good, like, good color fast fabric.
Okay. Great. Great. And at the moment for designing, I mean, you
Mm.
do the textile designing. So I don't know, as a textile designer or fashion, whatever product you're making, how are
Mm.
you doing the design? Who's like doing it, and how do you go about it? Is there a platform that you use, product that you use for designing?
Uh, No, so I'm only doing the designing right now,
Okay.
the garments and everything. So, in between, I had a few interns who also, because I'm a textile designer, I'm not a fashion
Hmm.
designer.
That's
So
right.
so I don't know how to make a pattern of a garment.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so I have like a basic idea, and we also want to always be comfortable, and like whatever garments, whatever clothing, anything that we are making, the first priority for it is to be comfortable. So even while working with those interns, like they were obviously given the brief, that this is the brief and this is the fabric we're using and everything. And then
Hmm.
that's how I worked with them also, and then they created the designs and patterns for me. So
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. Nice. And right now, like you are primarily doing the most of the task, right? Or are there other people who are helping you? Maybe.
So now I don't do the natural dyeing myself. I used
Okay.
to earlier, but since now the workload has also increased, I have somebody that I've trained at the studio. So my studio is a little bit outside of the city. It's near a village.
Okay.
So so she's a local lady from the village, and now she's been with us almost for 8 months.
Okay.
So uh, so I trained her initially, and now she does all the natural dyeing, and I help her with it. Because then, earlier what used to happen is that I used to, do the dyeing all day, every day, and then I wouldn't get time to connect with other people, to make content on
Hmm.
Instagram and everything. Like it used to be every time, 9 to 5, whatever timings, I'm only dyeing. So then that became a little bit too hectic. So
Definitely.
yeah, so now she helps out, and yeah, so she's been with us for 8 months now almost.
Lovely. So that's kind of mostly some of the questions I wanted to ask. And now I have bit of rapid fire segments where I'll be asking few things which you already probably know. You can like respond whatever come to top of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with like if you have to come up with one tool or resources, more of it, software tools you can think of that had the most significant impact on your business that you use on a daily life, what
Mm-hmm.
that tool can be.
Photoshop.
Okay, that's mainly for
Software,
designing, right?
yeah, softwares mein Photoshop is like you can do anything and everything on Photoshop.
Okay. What
Yeah.
about Illustrator or something that you have
Illustrator
using?
is also good, but Illustrator is more for graphic designing, like probably designing a logo or whatever, like creating brand kits or something like that, or illustrating, obviously. But
Hmm.
Photoshop, I feel, is a lot more than that. You can edit your photos, you can edit videos also, you can create your Instagram, like you can create your social media. We also created the website, the prior website
Mm-hmm.
design on Photoshop.
Got it.
So I feel like Photoshop is very, very, very useful.
Nice. And what part of the business do you think you need a lot more digital transformation, like where it's a lot more manual? You feel that you need some, you know, can be converted in more digital process.
Mm, I don't know.
For example, the mainly around marketing, probably. Are you getting enough marketing uh,
Yeah, so marketing, though
automatic?
definitely, yeah, I need someone to help me out with the and I think also strategizing the whole like social media strategy is also something that's very important. So even that.
Okay, okay, lovely. And is there any innovative products and concepts that you feel excited about? That new thing that has come up in fashion that you are very excited about?
In fashion, I don't know, but I'm really excited about new fibers that people are like the new type of fabrics that people are making nowadays. Like there's a
Okay.
malai fabric also. People are making fabric out of malai, or there's orange fabric, there's milk fabric.
So
Then the
malai
different
means so that milk. Malai means like made out of milk, is it?
so malai fabric is different and milk fabric is different. So milk fabric is made out of proteins that are
What is
extracted from
malai?
the malai is the tender coconut you get,
Okay,
right,
okay,
the white
coconut.
malai.
Okay.
Yeah, that. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of innovation
Okay.
happening on that front. Like there's a cactus fire. There's just too many innovations happening on more, conscious fabrics that are being
Ah,
made. So yeah.
alternate. Can you say share few of the companies who are working on this, like coconut or milk fabrics or
Yeah.
cactus fabrics? Mhm.
Malai is actually the company's name only. So it's called Malai.
Okay,
The brand name is Malai. And I think they make like vegan leather and fabrics that are made out of Malai. Um,
okay.
then there's another fiber called Bemberg, which I've recently started using a lot. So
Which
Bemberg
one?
is Bemberg,
Bem. Can you spell it?
Bemberg.
BRG. Okay. What is
Yeah.
this?
So Bemberg is basically made out of cotton linter. So when cotton seed oil is extracted, there's still a lot of tiny fibers that are flying all over. So these fibers
Hmm.
cannot be woven into a normal they cannot be spun into normal cotton threads or yarns. So they are processed like it's a cupro fiber similar to viscose and modal or what but then
Hmm.
so it's made out of those fibers and it's
Hmm.
processed with some chemicals and made into the Bemberg fiber. So you can essentially get any kind of texture with it. Like you can get a silk texture, you can get a cotton texture.
Okay.
Uh, and I think there's only one company that. So this was found by Asai Kasai, which is a Japanese company. But
Okay.
yeah, but now I think a lot of people even in India are producing it, and it's
Okay.
quite affordable. And Asai Kasai claims to be around 70 to 80% circular. I mean, even though they're using a lot of chemicals, if
Okay.
if it's circular, then it makes it, I guess, one step cleaner or better.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. And what about like orange or milk that you're saying?
Orange Fabric Company, I don't know.
Okay. But usually I have heard about lotus
Yeah.
and bamboo and hemp, obviously. But
Hmm.
yeah, but these are like pineapple fibers from.
Pineapple. They're making leather also out of pineapple, pina leather or something it's called.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've heard about in Vietnam and those areas. People are using a lot
Huh.
of pineapple. Yeah. Okay. Nice to hear.
So yeah.
Yeah, saying something?
Yeah, no, so I don't know the company who manufactures the fabric, like orange fabric and soya milk fabric or whatever, but
Yeah.
uh, there's uh, there's there's one company in Himachal called
Mm-hmm.
Shwet. So they have
So
a
wait.
lot.
Okay.
Shwet. So it's spelled Suveta, Suvethah.
Okay.
So yeah, so but they have, I don't know if they manufacture the fabric or they get it from somewhere, but that's a nice source to get a lot of different variety of like sustainable
Yeah.
mindfully made fabrics. Yeah. So they also
Yes.
have silk fabrics.
So it seems like being a textile designer, you were like very much inspired by fibers and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anything around fabrics that are happening, right?
Yeah, even like new fibers. So hemp and nettle are something that I really love. And hemp I'm working with currently, but nettle I want to sometime
Okay.
soon. Yeah,
How are you getting the hemp fibers? Are they manufactured in India? Do you know, or they are coming
yeah,
from?
in Himachal and Uttarakhand.
They are getting cultivated and
Yeah,
manufactured. Yeah.
yeah,
And how is the
everything.
quality of the hemp?
So again, there's different qualities, right? You get this one variety where it's just handloom hemp. So it's like a jute fabric. It's
It's
quite
more
thick,
raw kind of.
230, 240 GSM. So it's a very thick.
Mhm.
So not for apparel, but for accessories and such. It's a very nice fabric to work with.
Mhm.
And then others are mostly like blends of cotton with hemp to get that softness for the fabric for apparel.
Hmm. Yeah. So there's a brand called Canva Loop that we also can sometimes try it. They're based out of
Mhm.
Surat, I think.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if they're doing in India or outside. Where are they getting the hemp from? Because yeah, but they're doing more hemp and other bamboo and other mixes,
Okay.
mainly
Nice.
for production. And can you share like one of the companies that in Uttarakhand that are doing hemp? Like within India, focus company will be great to know.
I don't know companies actually. I just got
I think
a,
go in contact. Okay.
yeah, we were
Okay.
sourced through of my friend. One of my friends, batchmates is from Uttarakhand, so she
Okay.
knew
Nice.
few viewers, so I just got that contact.
Okay, lovely, lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. On a cottage level, small level, a lot of people are doing.
yeah, and
It's
it's
good.
always better to just directly get from the weaver.
Yeah, definitely, definitely the
Yeah.
best way. And okay, next moving on to if you have to recommend one business or product or platform to other, fashion students or designers or founders, what
Hmm.
would it be? One productivity platform or one business or one product that you want to recommend people to use?
Uh, so like a product or
Yeah, like for fashion that use this product for it can be anything as simple as like uh, it can be Instagram. People know, but I'm saying something like that you should.
so there's this like we have Amazon, right? So there's
Mhm.
like a slow fashion, not just fashion, but like everything mindfully created, consciously made marketplace called Amala Earth, which I
Yeah,
think,
I've heard
yeah,
about. Yeah.
which I think is really, it's a really good concept and a really well curated marketplace. Like you
Mhm.
literally get everything, like right from cosmetics to apparel to accessories to woodwork to metal, everything. But it's
Mhm.
just like the story of where each product is coming from on the website. So I think it's a really good initiative that they've
Are you
done.
guys present in Ahmedabad?
I'm actually in talks right now.
Okay, okay,
So
nice.
let's see. Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
And is there any particular fashion business or startup that you admire, that you love about?
Yeah, it's Maiwa. So you must have heard about it. So Maiwa is this Australian company brand. I don't know,
Okay.
but they are like the pioneers, or there's so much information and so many things on natural dyes that they do. Uh,
Oh, can you
and
spell it? M.
Maiwa.
Oh yeah, I've heard about. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I
So
didn't. Yeah,
that's
yeah. They work
yeah.
with a lot of Indian, I think,
Yeah. So actually,
artisans.
the dyers and weavers that they work with have now become my mentors. So I was very, like, I didn't know it earlier, but then I was going back and looking at Maiva's website, and then I realized these are the same people that I've learned from. So I was very grateful for that.
They becoming your mentor means like they teaching you how to
Yeah,
do
like
natural.
now
Okay.
they've become like fam. So you must have heard of Jabbar Bhai Khatri
Hmm.
from Dhamadka. So he's the 10th generation Ajrak master artisan. So we visited his house and everything, and he's very sweet. And like now, he has actually come to my house. So initially, when I was learning how to make an indigo vat, so he
Mm.
taught, and then he had a exhibition in Pune at the Dastakhari Hut.
Mm.
So I was like, I've made my indigo vat and it's not doing well. So would you please mind coming and sharing your inputs? Or so he had come all the way from,
Mm.
like, it was far. So they
Mm.
were from like family now. So yeah.
Mm, that's nice. Okay. Um, and if you have to choose one individual or entrepreneurs in this field of slow fashion, um, who, like, I think you already told about this particular person, but
Mm.
is there any other that you want to highlight that's there who inspires you to doing what
Uh,
you, yeah,
one person.
yeah, like more of an individual
Okay.
that kind of you find aspirational.
Like with regards to natural dyes or just in general?
In general, like what you're doing, trying to do in general, like in your life, like while studying probably,
Hmm.
or
So I think I have two people. So one, like if I just
Mhm.
consider natural dyes, and I'm always striving to be better, would be there's this again Instagrammer called the Dogwood Dyer. So she has some really really good uh insights, and her page is just beautiful, and I got to learn a lot just from following her Instagram.
the what you can I repeat the dog,
The Dogwood Dyer.
DOGHWD
Dogwood, DOG,
wood
WO.
W,
Yeah,
dog would die. Okay,
yeah.
that's nice. And
And
she's from where? Like,
I, I'm not sure, but I
okay,
think
okay.
she's from US or Canada or something. Yeah.
Okay, 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 nice.
Mm.
Okay, oh, nice.
And
And
second would be my dad, honestly, because he, like, even through college, everything, he has always kind of told me to
mm,
do whatever you want and just do it 100%. And like even now,
mm,
he is like the guide, financial guide or the business guide. Like any decision that I take for the business, usually I have a discussion with him before that. So he's
mhm.
been a really good and helpful mentor for me throughout.
Lovely, lovely. I mean, definitely, I can see that you're very much driven. It must have come from someone close to your family, and that makes sense. Um, and last of the rapid fire is that if you have to suggest one valuable networking tip
Hmm.
for these people or students or designers to kind of be in the community or connect with the slow fashion community, what would
Hmm.
that be?
I don't think it would necessarily be connecting with the slow fashion community. I think just from a business point of view, I feel like just be shameless, because that's one thing that I've learned. Again, I was a
Mm,
very introverted and a very shy person, even in college, even
mm,
after college for that matter. But then when I realized that I am, taking initiative and talking to people, I realized people also want to talk to me. So
mm,
with regards to any business, it might be, or anything, like if you want your brand or yourself to reach to people, be shameless and just make the move.
mm. Definitely, that's
Like even
wonderful.
cold emails for that matter. I mean,
Yeah,
just
yeah, definitely it works.
yeah.
Yeah, you never know. You have to like reach out to people.
Yeah.
Um, and the last questions for the day is that what your future vision of what you're trying to build at Studio Ithia?
So again, I aspire to be eventually like Maiwa. Like I want it to not just be a brand, but also a learning space. So we're actually building our studio also, where we can have more like wholesome workshops and have students come over and explore whatever they want to and all of that. So I want it to be a learning space. I want it to also be like a, let's see like where it goes. Obviously these
Hmm.
are just this is what I aspire, probably in the next 5 years or so. But again,
Hmm.
I want to have a community where all of, like, people
Hmm.
are uh, people talk
Interesting.
about this, and explore more of natural. So the whole idea is that more people should know what natural dyes are and more people should use them. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And do you like being a natural dye? You are like getting some traction in the international space as well, because this is something highly um
Yeah.
sought
So
after. Mhm.
yeah, actually, again, this is happening through word of mouth actually, but a lot of people in Dubai are they didn't know what natural dyes were, but like I think one person came in touch with me through Instagram, and then they wanted like a customized naturally dyed silk sari, and then they liked it so much that just through word of mouth, a lot of people now are interested in the same thing.
Mm,
So I think definitely, yeah. And I internationally, there's more awareness about this than in India right
mm,
now.
mm.
So my goal is to create more awareness in India first of
Definitely,
this. Yeah.
definitely. Great. So thank you so much, Devika. That was wonderful talking to you. Understand a lot about natural dyes and actually fibers, alternative fibers. So these are some things usually is hard to kind of find out. And you being a very young,
Mhm.
aspiring kind of founders, for you it's something you're very curious at the moment, and you're trying to find something which I
Mhm.
feel that sometimes who are already there, they don't usually look for a lot about these things. Usually, being at a right um, uh, right place, right time, you are able to kind of find these informations and share with us. Thank you so much for doing this, um, and definitely we'll be in touch. But I'd love to hear from you if you have any ending thoughts.
Yes, no, thanks a lot. Even I had fun. I got to speak about myself and the brand after some time. So even I'm
Okay.